State Senator John Milkovich is joining us this morning. You have a symposium, a get-together, a big education meeting planned for, I think, this evening. Tell us about it. Tell us where and what time.
Thank you, Robert. We have a teachers forum planned, and this is an opportunity for teachers to speak out and members of the public. That includes parents, grandparents, students. But it's a forum at Centenary at 7 tonight. It's the Teachers Forum, 7 p.m., Centenary tonight. It'll be a whited auditorium. There'll be signs out there showing you we're on the Centenary campus. But basically what we're talking about, what we're addressing, is John White, Common Core, the DOE, that's the Louisiana Department of Education bureaucracy. These are the issues that we've been hearing about for years. They haven't gone away. They're getting worse. And there's a huge power play on in Louisiana to take over politics, to drive politics into the heart of our education. And people in Louisiana are ready to fight.
John, I got a question first of all, and you said a teachers forum to discuss what are bluntly put very controversial topics. Do you think that the teachers, that the school administrators, that I know that parents would not hesitate to comment on these, but are you afraid that because of the controversial nature of these discussions that a lot of school employees might not be willing to speak from the heart, to speak the truth?
You know, I think there can be implicit pressure. What has happened in Louisiana, we've had an absolute takeover. Not everyone knows this, but Michael Bloomberg and some out-of-state billionaires are the ones that got John White appointed. That's right. Michael Bloomberg, the ex-mayor of New York City, and out-of-state billionaires basically ushered in the appointment of the Louisiana Superintendent of Education, John White.
Pardon me just a minute, Mr. John. I'm not going to... You got to explain that one to me in about 30 seconds, if you can. What evidence do you have
let's try 20 seconds. They pumped hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars into the Bessie Board elections in 2011. In other words, out-of-state money increased the campaign contributions in the 2011 Bessie Board elections, and they pumped a bunch of out-of-state money in, and the criteria for who the big boys supported was basically, we're told, and everything, the things line out, will you appoint John White? So out-of-state money turned over the 2011 Bessie Board elections. The 2011 Bessie Board appointed John White. And, of course, this is where it gets complicated. John White is now illegally in office. He was supposed to be reconfirmed by the Louisiana Senate by June of 2017. He basically is saying, hey, who cares? That's just Louisiana law. I've been here. I got the big boys behind me. We're not going anywhere. So what does that mean? We still have Common Core. Of course, I know they did their charade. They pretended like they were doing away with it. The experts, the people that study this, and plus you can look at the documentation, Common Core hasn't gone anywhere.
I want to address that because I have a friend who's my age. Her kids are grown, but she's now caring for a younger child who's in her home. And
Sure.
She was railing about Common Core the other day. She said, "This is the stupidest thing I have ever seen in my life. How have we let it get to this? Why hasn't something been done to stop it?"
Well, and a lot of it is John White and the power politics behind him. But basically, people were so furious about it in Louisiana, John White, and, they kind of pulled a charade on us. They said, well, let's do away with it. Let's have a bunch of meetings. Let's spend a bunch of money, take a bunch of time. And if you look at it, and then I've studied it as a member of the Senate Education Committee in Louisiana, all they've done is they've moved some commas around, some semantic changes. They've rearranged words. We still have Common Core. And this is what's amazing about it. We have thrown away 325 years of America's educational journey, which has been one of the hallmark educational achievements in world history, and thrown away for a Bill Gates experiment, where basically they built the airplane on the fly. Bill Gates, he's a globalist. He doesn't have Louisiana values. He's the biggest, if not one of the biggest financial supporters of Planned Parenthood. In other words, he's one of the biggest financiers of abortion in the world, and he was the financial backing for Common Core.